Here are the two.
Ryder Cup from 4:30 right now. It's Chelsea against Manchester United from Stamford Bridge. Berbatov and Rooney start for Manchester United. Ronaldo amongst their substitutes. Deco injured in the warm-up. Ballack starts through. That's only 90 minutes since we were discussing this.
Yes.
It's happened again here in the biggest game of the weekend.
Normally you would think, if somebody already has an injury, you would assume that he will go before the warming up. He goes out to check it out. I think that didn't happen, so therefore it's odd to get it. But when it happens, it ruins a little bit your plans.
And on our interactive service, Phil Scolari's been saying Jamie Ballack not ready to do 90 minutes yet, but
that is interesting.
ready to step in here.
I'd tell you what, he was ready last year, wasn't he? He scored 2 goals in the corresponding fixture last year, so he likes this one. It's just a shame, as Ruud said, from Deco's, from a neutral's point of view, not to see Deco today. He's been excellent this season, and this is the sort of game you want to see the Decos of this world playing in. So it's a real shame for the neutrals out there.
Manchester United lose, there will be 9 points adrift of Chelsea. How significant at this stage?
It'll be very difficult to crawl it back, because Chelsea this is a different Chelsea to what there was last year. They started off really bright last year, but I don't know, it's not the sort of thing you want to do. You want to be 9 points behind this Chelsea, so look better. Buswinger, Ashley Cole's in really good form. They won't want to go 9 points behind, but 122 games I think it is since Man United lost back-to-back games. They don't make a habit of it.
Would they take a draw now, Ruud?
I think so. I think so, yeah. I think still in the plans of Chelsea, in the way they played, I think Deco has been very important. And therefore, especially Lampard, who is really good with him, they play very well with each other. So that will be a blow. And so therefore, it's a pity. But I think we're going to see I hope we're going to see an
good
exciting
subs
game.
as well, isn't it? Ronaldo and Drogba on the bench, teams that can really affect it as well.
It's a game and a half. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, thank you, Richard. John Terry's last kick of a ball against Manchester United will haunt him forever. He only comes face-to-face with United again today, thanks to an FA reprieve from his red card in Manchester last weekend, a decision which has not gone down well at Old Trafford. And Gary Neville leads out Manchester United, playing in the Premier League for the first time for 18 months. Well, the current league table doesn't accurately reflect the ferocity of the rivalry here between them. They are the champions in each of the last 4 Barclays Premier League seasons, the top 2 in each of the last 3 domestic campaigns, and of course the top 2 in Europe as recently as May. Felipe Scolari did name an unchanged Chelsea team for the 3rd game in a row, but as you've heard, he's had to change it. Petr Cech, of course, in goal. It is the same back 4 after the rescinding of the red card at Manchester City for John Terry. But Michael Ballack, the hero of this fixture last season, remember, called in just minutes ago for Deco. Up front, Nicolas Anelka has scored in Chelsea's last 2 games. Drogba, in particular, pushing for action from the bench. Paulo Ferreira was called in to make up the numbers when Deco pulled out.
Pretty familiar looking formation expect to see today from Chelsea. Cole and Malouda occupying the wide areas. There'll be a lot of rotation in that. Ballack, we've talked about, totally different from Deco, but what Ballack will give them is another strike force from midfield, if you like, someone who will get into Manchester United's penalty area and who will give Chelsea another threat apart from Frank Lampard coming from deep.
For Manchester United, Edwin van der Sar in goal. In front of him, Vidic is suspended. And Johnny Evans makes his Premier League debut for United. He played 15 games in this Elite League for Sunderland, of course. And Gary Neville back for league action. Scholes has returned from his European ban in midfield. Park, Hargreaves and Fletcher keep their places from midweek. Dimitar Berbatov, unfit on Wednesday, makes his second Manchester United appearance today. Carlos Tevez relegated to the bench. Cristiano Ronaldo still being held back somewhat as a substitute again today.
Well, we're going to have this as a 4-4-2. I'm not still 100% convinced that this is how they're going to end up, whether Fletcher or Hargreaves plays on the right. From recollection, Hargreaves played right in the Champions League final in Moscow, started there. But certainly it's got that 4 across there. It may be a 5, depending what Wayne Rooney's asked to do. But I think with Ballack and Lampard now in that midfield, United are taking a chance just with 4.
Well, they're talking about a father-son relationship. Today it's a Chelsea-Manchester United non-relationship, really, he would hope, because although it was delivered with some humour by Luis Felipe Scolari, there was some suggestion that he would like to invite Cristiano Ronaldo to become a Chelsea player when the media met the new Chelsea head coach for the build-up to his first Premier League joust with Manchester United.
There isn't a coach in world football who wouldn't want Cristiano Ronaldo in their lineup, so he's only saying something every coach would say if asked the question.
But not every coach has managed Cristiano Ronaldo for the Portuguese national team.
No.
Mike Riley is the ref. He had a run-in, of course, with Ashley Cole last March at Tottenham. Highlighted the need for the respect and get on with the game initiatives. Dimitar Berbatov was still a Spurs player when Chelsea faced Tottenham here last month, but he wasn't here for the game. He's certainly here today in Manchester United's colours. He has scored against Chelsea in 3 different competitions and on 3 different grounds, here at the Bridge, at White Hart Lane, of course, and at Wembley.
Just looking quickly at Manchester United and where they're setting up, it is Hargreaves has moved over to the right-hand side, top of the picture there, on that right-hand side. Fletcher infield, alongside Scholes, and Park on the left. I wondered about that because of his performance in Moscow, playing up and down that channel. Certainly in the first half it was so good for Manchester United.
Well, both United's titles last season, domestic and European, were won at the direct expense of Chelsea. But they have made a low-key start to their defence of both of them. They kick off. It's very, very warm at Stamford Bridge. Singwa making the first defensive header. Berbatov. And now Fletcher. Hargreaves with Gary Neville going ahead of him. Scholes is there for deeper support. And here's Johnny Evans. It's a big gesture of faith from Sir Alex Ferguson in his Northern Ireland international defender. Headed out by Terry, only as far as Darren Fletcher, and it hit Berbatov. Comes out to Scholes. Crisp beginning this by Manchester United. Hargreaves winding up for the cross.
Hitting, little overhit.
Well, for a generation or two, the usual form was that Chelsea did very well at Old Trafford, punched above their weight up there. United invariably picked up the points here, but that has changed. 6 years since Alex Ferguson left here with a league win under his belt. And just 1 victory for Manchester United at Stamford Bridge in the last 10 Premier League seasons.
Yeah, they're going to have to work really hard, you feel, today, if they're going to get 3 points.
Singwa. Mikel. Now Lampard is playing in the Premier League for the 400th time. Today, only the 10th player to reach that landmark. And just 1 game behind him is Paul Scholes.
I think what's noticeable with Scolari's side at the beginning of this season has been how high up the pitch both fullbacks will start. When John Terry and Carvalho have got the ball, don't be surprised to see Buswinga and Ashley Cole sometimes 40 yards ahead of play. That's what they've been encouraged to do.
Not by Ferdinand, a touch from Rooney. Berbatov trying to reposition, lost his balance, regained the ball. Well, Gary Neville came through the Villarreal test, as Johnny Evans did. To cover for the suspension of Vidic and the loss of favour of Wes Brown. Chelsea had pretty much a stroll here against Bordeaux on Tuesday. In fact, Scolari was quite critical of his team, even though they won 4-0. Didn't pass the ball as well as he would have liked, but maybe just trying to keep some famous feet on the ground. Lovely touch by Joe Cole. Basingwa, who crossed so well for that first goal for Lampard on Tuesday night here.
Oh, too easy. Around Evra and Ji-Soon Park there. Just a little heavy with a cross. Pretty bright
thigh strain, Andy, for Deco. A thigh strain.
Thigh strain. When you come out on a beautiful warm day for a nice stretch and a good warm-up, the last thing you expect is to pull your thigh. I wonder if he did. They do quite a bit of shooting, I noticed, Chelsea, anyway. I just wonder if it happened then.
Scolari took him off after an hour on Tuesday to protect him for today. Irony in that. Berbatov, who began well against Liverpool, as Manchester United did collectively. Mikel, easy for Neville. Overzealous there was Cole. Has been a mantra of Alex Ferguson in accepting that United will lose a league game once in a while, that they're not beaten twice in a row. That hasn't happened since April 2005, when they had consecutive defeats at Norwich and at Everton. I suppose the fixture computer rarely divvies up away to Liverpool, away to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Here's Berbatov. Did well against Scholes. It's United's ball, though. Played wide by Neville. Hargreaves with 3 to aim for, and Fletcher is one. And he's been making that run, and he's got a couple of Premier League goals from it already this season.
Well, Rooney's run ahead of him creates a little bit of space for him. Keep an eye on this when Manchester United win the ball. Suddenly 3 players turn, and Park, Rooney and Fletcher are all in good attacking positions. You know, whether Carvalho does enough to put him off, I guess he might have done. But it's half a chance, and it's what he does and has done very well this season so far.
And he has on his CV a winning goal for Manchester United against Chelsea. At Old Trafford, that was. Mikel, who joined Chelsea from Manchester United, technically he never played for Ferguson. Rooney wanted a quick free kick from Scholes. And Scholes' experienced brain saying, well, let's just hang on a minute and get ourselves set up here. And he gives it to Rooney nonetheless. And then Rooney, this is being better watched then.
He's just got to be a little bit quicker than that. Wayne should know better in a game like this. As you've got to just react to it a little bit sharper when it comes to you. You're not going to get that kind of time.
Terry leaving it to Czech, to come a long way to take it. Done well by Evans. Cole selling the dummy. Ballack trying to take advantage of it. As Richard said, Felipe Scolari in his pre-match interview here pointed out that Ballack hadn't got 90 minutes in him, but he's got to for a longer shift than anticipated.
Well, that may be the case. I mean, we'll be keeping a close eye on him. We certainly should. He's normally a hugely fit player, Michael Ballack. Fitness levels are excellent. I'll definitely get an hour out of him. I don't have a doubt about that, I would suggest. Minimum.
It might be less if he gets caught a few times by Paul Scholes.
It's a foul, but I mean, if that's a talking to, then Paul Scholes will get trouble today.
Pasingba, Carvalho, Lampard didn't quite get enough on it. He was looking for Joe Cole, and more too did Ballack when it broke his way.
And ball was on as well to Joe.
Czech had to get there because Rooney was coming out fast, then Berbatov, and Rooney! And Czech is back to shepherd it wide, and it would have been quite embarrassing for Chelsea at the back.
He just doesn't get his foot round it, Wayne Rooney. Berbatov's going for goal, isn't a doubt in my mind about that, but Wayne Rooney just reacts very quickly, tries to hook it, just catches him on the toe, and didn't get enough on him. Well, Alex is out warming up.
Headed on by Anelka. Joe Cole with a suspicion of a hand. And it doesn't go in, which probably avoids a major controversy here.
Yeah, they're asking the question, was it handball? But watch the goalkeeper's position here. I just think that Edwin van der Sar does nothing. He almost sits down on this. And I think either side of him, well, certainly flag stayed down. But when he strikes, look at the goalkeeper. Down on one knee. Not in a position to make a save of any description if the ball hits the target.
Scholes. Berbatov. And the Singler. Keeping calm. It would have been a moment of panic at one end and a moment of controversy at the other. Both narrow escapes. It's still 0-0. It could have been 1-1.
I do think that's a really good chance for Joe Cole. He gets through like that. He's normally very assured in that kind of area. Whether he got a little excited, I don't know. But it wasn't a finish in keeping with Joe Cole.
Berbatov working with Rooney. Away by Cole. We'll talk about the fullbacks getting forward. They'll certainly need to defend today. Mikel. Ricardo Carvalho came across, had a word with the Chelsea bench as if maybe he's got an injury problem. As Alex is getting ready to come on. With Pasingba on the charge. And Gary Neville as if he'd never been away.
Great play. Well, that may be why Park and Hargreaves have been picked to play in the wide areas today. Because the one thing those two have are bags of energy. And with Cole and Baswinga keen to do as much damage high up the pitch, then Alex Ferguson is going to need two players in wide areas that are prepared to work very, very hard.
Park. Hargreaves certainly had a couple of games wide in midfield at the back end of last season. He's left down on the turf, and Ashley Cole free to go on. Great responsibility by Scholes, and it's Berbatov with a question mark here as to whether to play on or not. And Rooney wants to play on. Hargreaves is still in distress.
Well, it was a sloppy piece of play, Hargreaves, when the ball was played over to him. He got control of it, didn't react quick enough, and Ashley Cole just pounced on it. And then there, well, doesn't look an awful lot in that. Change has been made down below, so Ricardo Carvalho.
Deco injured in the warm-up. Ricardo Carvalho injured in the opening minutes of the match. Alex had a couple of days before an appeal was heard, thinking he was probably going to start this game. He's going to play most of it.
You know, Deco being injured in the warm-up doesn't count as a sub officially, does it?
No, because Paulo Ferreira's been added to the bench.
So there's still got 2 to go.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just for people at home, like me, who might not quite be sure.
That's a very valid point, Mr. Gray. Park. Of course, being at home, Chelsea had players available to fill the gap. It's interesting, some managers just go away with the number that they need on the team sheet. Rafa Benitez for one. Lampard. Joe Cole.